The Blunderbust division remains one of the most competitive here at Riverhead Raceway, but this year it's been a season of controversy between the officials and drivers.
What we're doing is cleaning up the division. I know a lot of guys are complaining that we're getting too rough with inspection. I'm going to go by the rule book, and that's the way I'm going to do it.
We have no problems. You know, the officials all of a sudden now say, hey, look, this car that, this car that.
You know, everybody says, well, the officials did this, the officials did that. All the officials are really doing is their job, trying to keep everything affordable like that's what they're originally supposed to be.
The recent enforcement of the rules in the Blunderbust division has resulted in a total of 9 disqualifications this season.
Half the division is not running the correct motor for the year and make and model of that car.
I was disqualified for a short wheelbase of my chassis. I have a 76 Chevy 400 motor and a 76 Caprice chassis, but the chassis is 6 inches short. So for me to come out and compete, I had to weigh 300 pounds over the 4,200 pound mark.
Yeah, I was disqualified for illegal weight springs, advanced weight springs, basically which were not illegal, they were brand new. I have representatives from Mr. Gasket that will testify on my behalf as to the fact that all these parts were blueprinted, you know, built to GM's blueprints.
So some parts aftermarket are cheaper, and I don't think they enhance our performance. It's just they're more available than what we would have to get stock.
I got disqualified for having a Chevrolet air filter on a Buick, but verbally I was told that it could be a sealed air cleaner, as long as it's sealed it was legal. But the written rules were different.
I think it's really tough to run a car strictly by the rules as they're written.
Running competitively in a blunderbuss has become an expensive task. Drivers are now pumping thousands of dollars into their racers, and even getting professionally built race engines. Many feel the division has gotten out of hand.
You can see when, you know, you're flat out going down and a guy blows by you like you're parked. You know, something's wrong somewhere.
It's a very tough division to police, and there's quite a bit of blatant cheating going on, and there's quite a bit of gray area, but I think the officials are doing a good job.
They let it go for a couple of years. They started a little last year, you know, but now they're every little thing, you know, they won't let you do anything anymore.
They're definitely tightening up a lot on selected people.
It's not fair to come out in the middle of the season and wait for you to win and tell you your car's illegal, you can get taken away.
If the victories continue to be taken away, a few drivers will consider racing elsewhere.
One of the other competitors was asking me about it, and he's making some phone calls to Riverside Park to see if they'll take a division like ours.
If everything pans out here and maybe the rest of the season goes well with our class and, you know, we start running and everybody comes up, okay, it's fine, you know, we don't have disqualifications every week, you know, maybe I'll stay here.
Every driver here will read between those lines and get what they want to get away with. And it's not cheating until you're caught. And I agree with them, but we'll find them if we have to.
Although the rulings off the track have been the focus of the blunderbuss division, the action on the track this month has been spectacular. Rob Lombardo jumped out front at the start of the Roadhawk Battery Blunderbust Report. Neither he nor Ray LaMonica could hold off the #1 of Troy Ferdinando. The sophomore driver put his Ford Thunderbird inside of the 60 for the lead. Ferdinando had his hands full, with Chris Laspisa in his mirror. In lap traffic, the number 12 snuck by the 1, but on the last lap, the slower cars worked in favor of Ferdinando, who scored his first victory of the season. Following the race, both Ferdinando and Laspisa were found to have illegal motors, handing the win to LaMonica. 2 weeks ago, William Farrell's day took a bounce for the worst. On the first lap of the double point 30-lap race, Chris Busick gets way out of shape, allowing Ted Marsh to take the lead. But it was Rich Hubbard who flexed his muscle, cruising past the number 22 on lap 10. Hubbard held off the 04 of Ray Dominguez for his first victory in '96. During last week's rain date makeup race, Tom Marsh held off point leader Jason McGarry through a crowded fourth corner on the final lap to capture his first ever victory. In last week's second blunderbuss feature, Chris Busick took his first career win. But once again, the top 2 finishers were disqualified, so the win went to Gary Hartcorn.
Jason McGarry had quite a season in the blunderbuss division. Some say too good to be true. And by the end of the season, inquiring minds wanted to know whether something funny was going on under the hood of the '98 racer. It's a sound that struck fear in all blunderbuss competitors this year. the infamous rumble of Jason McGarry's number 98 Oldsmobile.
You can hear him coming up on you. You can sit in the stands and hear him just louder than any car out there.
It does sound like that engine has a little bit of extra overlap.
I think it has a lot to do with the way the exhaust comes out of this side of the car.
He just blows by me on the outside like I'm standing still.
By late summer, McGarry and his mean machine had racked up 4 victories. He had dodged several bullets during the season. Rumors of preferential treatment by the officials.
The 98 in the Blunderbust division finished third. Didn't go across the scales. How come? Your top 3 usually does.
We go between 2 and 3 cars every week, and because we were short a couple of officials tonight, I took no more than 2 cars out of any division.
An anxiety attack in the pit area after an on-track confrontation, and claims that his engine was built by Riverhead Raceway Tech Inspector Walter Bonzik.
Usually motors that are built by Walter Rothfast here. And I had to compete against someone who is always legal.
Sometimes I wish I did, but really that's one I don't build.
There are no secrets to this engine. It's just mostly handling. I mean, I have no reason to cheat. I'm fast now. Like I said, I was fast from day one.
How do you beat a car that when you're running the car, running the wheels off the car and the guy just goes right by you? I don't know how you can go faster unless you maybe find out what's going on with his car.
And with 2 races remaining, that's exactly what happened. McGarry stormed through the field during the last weekend of August to take the checker, but a protest was filed by fellow competitor Rich Hubbard following the race. Hubbard wanted a piston check from McGarry's motor, but under the strict order of Chief Steward Bill Bryce, both cars were impounded until Sunday. Ordinarily, only the protested car would be inspected.
Billy Bryce just wants to bust my chops because he feels that I'm wrong in doing what I'm doing. I made the decision, and we've done it in the past, that if you're going to protest something that requires that much work, I'm going to tear yours down part way to look at the same thing. I feel that he's got something illegal, and we're trying to prove something.
Hubbard was right. When the verdict came down on Sunday, McGarry was disqualified.
It had a forged piston. The rules state that all pistons must be cast in the Blunderbust division.
They say a forged piston raises the price of the engine. Yes, it does for a certain amount, but still, having a forged piston in the motor is durability. There was no performance difference.
But it was the difference in McGarry not winning the championship. A perfect season gone sour.
My understanding is 6 drivers were involved, and hey, you know, whatever. They couldn't beat me on the track, so they had to beat me the only way they could, and it was a protest.
As for Riverhead Raceway, it was the 2nd straight year a dominating car had been found illegal late in the season. Last year, Charger champion Mike Waslonis. This year, Jason McGarry.
It's a shame that a guy with a sealed motor is legal, you know, all year, and then at the end, you know, because of something like this, he's found illegal. You know, it really just puts some credibility problems with the track and the way things are being done.
The same night McGarry was disqualified, division rival Bubba Zwickle used a little muscle to take over the point lead. Teaspoon Tom Piccarell picked up the win thanks to McGarry's DQ. A DQ of Dale Rena the week before put Paul Johnston in victory lane. The gladiators of the Blunderbust division were set for a showdown on the final night of racing, with rumors of bounties being offered if the top point men didn't finish the race. Bubba Zwickle held a 10-point advantage over second-place point man John Clancy. But Bubba was in trouble early when he looped his Peterbilt 55 all by his own doing. Luckily for the big man, Clancy also looped it just a few laps later with a flat tire. With Clancy now behind him, Zwickle drove to his first ever championship.
I expected to go out there, stay with Clancy, maybe get by him, take it easy, cruise a little bit, have a little fun, enjoy my last race for the season. And it ended up being like a war zone. The boy from Queens, you know, getting all this Long Island notoriety is awesome.
And how ironic was it that just a week after being disqualified, Jason McGarry came back, drove right to the front, and stole the win away from Ron Piccarell and Troy Ferdinando in the final laps for his 5th win of the season.
I went to show that it didn't matter if I had, you know, the disqualification on the forged pistons, well, I put the same piston back in and cast aluminum. You know, it's just, it had something to do with driving a little bit, but, you know, it also had something to do with luck, too. But, yeah, overall, I think it was a pretty good year.
Championship or no championship, in the record books, it was a dynamite year for the top 2 point men in the Blunderbust division. And now, here's Matt Dillner.